everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Perfect Blend podcast hosted by yours truly, Kay, formerly known as Kay Day, but I go by Khalif. Welcome to my podcast. I know it's been a minute since I released an episode, but June is here. It's a new month and a new time. And I'm so excited because I have two guests today. I have Miss Sonia Russell and Mr. David Walker of the Mindfulness for the Culture podcast on my show today. So I'm super, super excited. Um, yeah, say hi to everyone, y'all.
What it do? What's up, y'all? What's going on to the Perfect Blend podcast family? We are happy to be here.
We are happy to be here,
Yeah.
Kelly. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you, no, thank you. It's such an honor for y'all to be here. I know it's been some time. You know, we were just chatting about that before we recorded. Like it's been like a lot of time into this. So finally the time has aligned and we are ready to go.
Yes. Everything in perfect time.
Let's get it. We
Everything
ready.
in perfect
Come
time.
on.
Let's
it's the right
do
time.
it. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna read their bios really quickly, just so you all can get a feel of who Sonia and Russell are. Sorry, well, I apologize. Sonia and David. Apologies for that.
All good. All good.
Yes. So Sonia Russell, CEO, uses her obsession with technology and her passion for mindfulness to organize and harmonize almost every aspect of her life. She has been a Black woman her whole life, a small business owner for nearly 20 years, and an active leader for more than a decade. Sonia's consistent mindfulness practices and frequent productive use of technology help her to effectively manage stress, consciously parent her powerful daughter, and to skillfully and successfully design, build, cultivate, and grow containers where amazing things happen. She received her minister's
That's my
license
CEO right there.
from the School of Spiritual Leadership in 2021. So welcome, Sonia.
That's my CEO right there.
I'm
That's my
so
co-founder.
badass.
Come on
you
now.
know?
Let's
I'm
get
kind
it.
of a big deal.
Right. That was
Call me
good.
Reverend Sonia, but you don't have to.
Oh, yes, Reverend Sonia. Apologies. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm just playing. It's totally
Oh, I was like, my bad. I didn't know. I was like,
I was
what,
gonna
a
say I
preacher
hope not. I
here?
might cuss a little bit. I want to
Huh.
cuss
I was
about
like,
it
they're gonna be
earlier.
like, Khalif, you would have brought a reverend up in here. Yes.
Uh,
Awesome. And then David Walker. So David designs, builds, and cultivates successful and productive sales and strategic partnerships to increase awareness, affinity, buy-in, and revenue, all with mindfulness at the core. With over 15 years of experience, David puts the funk in cross-functional training and leadership. Okay. Y'all popping. And he uses his intense desire to serve to intentionally and effectively connect people, places, and ideas. Combining his commitment to his own mindfulness of evolution with his commitment to create lasting change and healing, David is on a sole mission to serve, collaborate, impact, add value, and have fun. So it's such an honor to have y'all
let's
here.
go.
Woo, that's us.
The have
Yes.
fun is real.
To have fun.
Yes. So before we get into the show, can you all tell my audience a little bit about the Mindfulness for the Culture podcast? Just a little bit about what that podcast is about in particular, and then we'll get into the Yes Queen, Yes King award.
Right. So our company, Special Sauce, are the producers of Blackfullness, which is a mindfulness app formed by African Americans designed for stress reduction. And it is scientifically based, it is empirically supported, it is absolutely changing lives. And the podcast is really designed for us to keep it real.
Yeah.
Right.
So before I say anything, I want to say Happy Pride Month as a member of the LGBTQIA community and a co-founder of an organization that's based and focused on mental health and stress reduction and healing justice. I wanted to just lift up Pride this month and send a shout out to all the community members and just say we see each other. Period.
We see
But
each
the
other.
Right.
That's right.
So the podcast gives us an opportunity to meet people where they are, to bring mindfulness in a way where we can let our hair down, and really just lean into things, talk about topics in a way, introduce mindful, badass people who are doing great things in the world, who are everyday people, but
Right.
they're doing big things in the world that make
Right.
a mark and make an impact. And we want it to feel like you're in your living room chopping it up with your people. We just happen to be
Right.
talking about mindfulness. That's what it's about.
That's right.
That's fabulous, because that's so necessary and it's so needed. And first of all, thank you for highlighting Pride Month. It is now June 3rd. We 3 days into the game, you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's definitely a highlight with our intersectional identities of being Black as
Come
well,
on. That's right.
and bringing that to this space. So mindfulness for the culture is definitely necessary. You definitely want to have a show where people feel comfortable, where they feel like they can find community, right? Especially in
Absolutely.
today's times, when people go home, they want to listen to people who are literally going through the same thing that they're going through. So it's
That's
very
right.
necessary.
And people want something real. They want
Mm-hmm.
something authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And they want something that they can see themselves and experience conversations that they can see themselves in. Like
Right.
we want to be seen, and we want to see ourselves in the experiences that that we are attached to. So Moppers for the culture is like, how can we create a space, a container, like somebody creates containers for really
Cultivate containers for
for
good things to
things to
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
That's what Moppers for the culture is. Like it's just a container for us to get in there and add our special sauce.
That's right.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing. So let's jump into the next segment of the show. This is the Yes Queen, Yes King Award, Yes King Award for the Perfect Blend podcast here, and I'll go ahead and get us started. My Yes Queen Award for this week goes to Gabrielle Union. I
Oh,
watched a
come
wonderful interview that she did with a YouTube channel called Idea Generation. And this is the interview that went viral recently, where she discussed how her and Dwayne Wade go 50-50 in the relationship, and people were like, kind of upset with her, like, you know what I mean? So I don't know if y'all saw that viral
on.
moment,
I
but
haven't, but I
I have
will. Yes, because I
yeah,
love
but
her.
everyone was like upset because she admitted, she was like, yeah, like we go 50-50, like, and she was just saying how even to this day she still worries about money because she has a lot of family members to take care of, right? So she was just like, I have my own set of households that I have to take care of because we have a lot of elders and children in our family, right? And so does Dwayne Wade. So she was like, that's why he and I agree to go 50-50. But and they're both millionaires, so everyone was like
Right.
gagged, like, what you mean go 50-50? Girl, y'all rich and he more rich than you. But I give her a Yes Queen award because that interview was so authentic. She just really talked about her career and a lot of the hardships that she went through, and how honestly she was kind of in a very dark space for like a majority of her career. Like just for like the past like 20 years or so, she was just kind of like in this very like survivor space where she didn't really allow herself to be like happy with where she was, and she
Right.
just kept kind of like chasing success. But she was just saying how now she's like more centered, more happy. She has like equitable businesses now. I think she did like a children's book recently. So it was a great interview. So I give
I
Gabrielle
love
Union
it. I love it.
flowers.
I love her. I love
Everything in
her.
there sounds like Gabrielle Union is leaning into some mindfulness because one of the things that we like to lift up is that we ain't gonna be out here striving. Like striving is a low vibration energy, and it
Right.
keeps us
Hmm.
from really landing into our magnificent potential. So Gabrielle Union, I see you on the
Mhm.
non-striving,
That's right.
and the demonstration of how your life is of how her life is impacted
Mhm.
and expanded because it seems like she's released that energy of striving, which is beautiful.
Sure enough. Sure enough.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And also
Yeah, I'll
too.
have to check that out.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I'll have to check it out because
Oh
I
yeah.
love her. And
Yeah.
yes, Queen, all the way,
Yeah.
all the way.
And also,
Yes.
she supports Zaya Wade. And I actually met
Yes.
Zaya and Dwayne Wade recently. I didn't get no pictures, but I met them recently, and it was such an honor. I met them in late April, and they were amazing. So shout out to
I
Dwayne and
love it.
Zaya Wade.
There you
And
go.
yeah,
Yes.
so who are your Yes Queen or Yes King awards going to this week?
So my Yes Queen award,
Our
our
we
Yes
both
Queen
we
award,
co-signed on
we
this one.
did our co-sign on this one, is going to Pam Grant.
Mm.
Now, Pam is the producer of our podcast, Mindfulness for the Culture.
Mm-hmm.
And can I just say that Pam keeps us so together? First of all, she ain't playing with us.
Not at all.
Like, she is like, I'm going to need y'all to do this and this and this for us to be successful. I'm going to need y'all to keep it on track. But she also loves us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is for us. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so amazing to have people on your team that really want to see you win because they know that that means they're winning too,
Yeah.
right? And her support has always been, bar none,
Mm-hmm.
has always been um, beyond expectations. Like she always shows up beyond expectations.
Pam is a Swiss Army knife
Show enough.
Like
Oh,
whatever is needed, she's
yeah.
gonna, because she loves us, it's because she believes in the mission of what we're doing with
Mhm.
Blackfullness and Special Sauce. Her
Mhm.
answer is always yes.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't know how to conceptually do a thing, she will figure it out. So
Sure
that
enough.
type of energy, that type of commitment, that type of love, because that enables Sonia and me to focus on our gifts and the things
Right.
that we are able to bring and want to
Right.
bring, when we can know that with the podcast we can release it totally to Pam
Hmm.
G and know that it's going to be operated in excellence,
That's
because
right.
Right.
that is the standard that we land in, and she carries
Hmm.
that vibration so strongly, not just with
Hmm.
Blackfullness, but in other spaces that we know Pam G in. It's the
Right.
very same consistency. Her authentic self is one who just creates the space for people to be great and for
Right.
people to land in their talents and their gifts, and she's a great exalter.
Yeah.
I appreciate her for that.
Yeah. She is black excellence all the way.
100%. So,
Wonderful. Shout out
thank you,
to
Pam
Pam.
G.
We
Yes.
love you, Pam. We
Shout
love
out to Pam
you.
today on the Perfect Blend podcast. And also to
Yes.
Pam, thank you for always communicating with me and just us being so clear with everything. So we lift you up, sister, today on the show.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And also thank Pam for being patient, okay? Because I got super busy this
Oh,
week.
let's be
I
clear.
got
She
so
be patient
busy.
with us too.
Oh,
Yes.
She
she
be
was
patient
super
with us.
patient. Yeah, no, she
Sure enough.
definitely held us down. Okay, so let's get into the questions now. So who and how are you? Where are you from? How has your podcasting journey been? So let's start with the first question. Who and how are you? So let's give like a quick who and how are you?
Hmm.
And it's very intentional when I wrote it that way.
Right. Right. Um, it's so interesting. I had all kind of answers prepared, and now it doesn't feel as authentic. So I can say right now, I am frankly a tired mama. That really
Hmm.
is what I am. That is who and how I am right now. My daughter has a full life. I have a full life. We are in the transition from getting out of school and moving into summer.
Hmm.
And it means a lot. It means a huge amount of opportunities to practice what I teach, right? Huge
Hmm.
amount of opportunities to remember to breathe, to
Hmm.
not take things personally,
Ooh.
to make sure I got my meditation practice on point in the mornings,
Right.
like all of that. Because in addition to my job and my leadership roles and my mommy roles, I'm also the damn driver and the damn social secretary. So
Right.
it's a whole nother
Right.
level of interaction
You have
with
like
that
15 hats on.
all the time,
At least
all the time,
at any given moment.
at any given moment.
And
And so
how
that's how
are
I'm feeling, like just in this moment, authentically, like, oh, yeah, I'm a tired mama. I'm grateful to be here. Don't get me wrong. Those
hmm.
things exist all at the same time.
And how
Mm.
are you? How are you?
Ooh.
Um, in general, for real, I am good. Like I
Hmm.
have the tired is real,
Hmm.
and the capacity meter is high
Mm.
presently, and because running two businesses and being the aforementioned momming is a lot. But
Well,
life
Absolutely.
thank
is
you.
good. Like I feel blessed. Um, yeah, and it's a beautiful day.
All right now.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
being here and sharing your time and space with me. I appreciate you
yes,
so much. And
I love
David,
it.
and who and how are you?
Hmm. I am a king. I'm a
Hmm.
black man, and I love being a black man.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I'm a member. Like I said, I'm a same gender loving black man. That intersectionality.
Hmm.
Um, and ultimately, just living life beyond any boxes. I say all
Hmm.
those things about who I am in this moment, but I try to live. I endeavor to live this life
Right.
as one who does not entertain boxes at all,
Mm.
because I'm so much more than a box, or so much more than what you can visibly see. Um, and so, as we stand in June, which for me represents a lot of things, right? It's definitely
Mhm.
Pride, but this is also Juneteenth. And so
True.
this is the month that we celebrate Juneteenth, and so I lift up just how I am right now is literally liberated, and I feel free. I feel
Right.
liberated, and I feel free to be my most authentic self. And as I lean into being my most authentic self, that really supports me in knocking down, not even knocking down, because there's no fight. It helps me to just move through anything that could be a box,
Mm.
right? Because I know that the entity that I am is so much bigger than what people can see, or any kind of category or box that somebody could have me check off. So I feel
You,
good, and my mindfulness practices help me stay there, being grounded in the truth of who I am through my prayer, through meditation, through breathing, through declarations, through affirmations, through community, right? Being in community
wonderful.
with folks who can be a mirror back to me to remind me that I'm dope, that I'm a king,
Right.
that I'm a black man who is doing really amazing things in the world, and I
Mm-hmm.
love who I am and how I am. So that's where I'm at. Self acceptance and free and liberated and unbound.
And feeling good. That's what I'm talking about.
And feeling good. Come on.
Right.
That's
I'm
right.
Love that.
feeling good.
Well, I'm gonna give
Yes.
both of y'all the Yes
Come
Queen and
on,
Yes.
Nina.
I'm gonna give both of y'all a Yes Queen and Yes King award. Y'all deserve it. Okay, let's go. Both of y'all get it. And Pam too. Pam get a second one. Okay, Pam get a second one.
Yes. Yes.
Received in gratitude.
That's right. That's right.
Right. No, because we have to figure out how to constantly self-regulate on a daily basis of life. You have to juggle so much. You're working, your parents, you probably trying to figure your life out, trying to figure out your money, all of that, and it could be a lot. So with that being said, how has your podcasting journey been so far? And how, like, tell us more, like, when did you start and how has that journey been? How many years? Things of that nature.
We're for all intents and purpose, we're still pretty new to the podcasting journey, and I
Right.
say that because we did start in 2020 when we started our company, so it's been a couple of years.
Right.
Um, but we sort of have kind of had to come and go in terms of um, capacity, really, to get anything done, right? So it's just us doing all the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so we haven't been as active on doing the podcast lately. Frankly, being here with you has
It's like a
helped
restart.
us remind ourselves exactly to kind of get going again,
Yeah.
and so we're excited about that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's been great though.
it's been great. There's always an opportunity to. I think Sonia and I both are avid learners, and we love to learn. And so
Right.
just this entire process has created the opportunity, I know, for us to lean into one of the principles that we lift up, which is keeping a beginner's mind. To know
Mm-hmm.
that we don't know all that there is, and to be open to what that journey can look like. I
Right.
also know that, and I'm sure this is familiar to you as well, Believe it, this podcast is a reflection of who and how we're being. And so it gives us an opportunity to do something that Sonny just said earlier, which was to live what we're talking about. Because there's no
Right.
way we're going to be able to get up on mic and share anything if we are not actively living it, because people can smell bullshit from a mile away. And
Right.
so, and so the podcast is almost like that. It helps hold us accountable. One of the many
Mm.
things that holds us accountable to really being not only practitioners of mindfulness and mental health and stress reduction and healing justice, but to be
Right.
living that when we're not on mic. So that when we
Mm-hmm.
do get on mic, people feel the authenticity of
Right.
what we're bringing, because
That's right.
that's what really matters.
That's right.
Exactly. So, okay, so basically, you all have like had a few, I don't want to say ups and downs, but you have had a few breaks in your podcasting journey, due to life and like capacity and things of that nature. But
Oh,
also
absolutely.
you have found it's important to remain authentic. It's important to remain true in the work
Yes.
that you do and also remain self-aware and present.
Yeah.
Correct?
And just for a point of clarification, that
Hmm.
we paused the podcast with intention. because
Exactly. Right.
because authentically we knew we didn't have the bandwidth to really
Right.
offer the excellence that we stand in,
That's
because there
right.
were other things that were a priority for us as we build this business and
Hmm.
all the other things that we're doing.
Hmm.
But just like life always does, it brings resources that remind us. And Khalif, you are a resource right now to remind us
Thank
of
you.
what it is to really of the power of podcast, right?
Hmm.
And how it can be used as a enhancer of any message or messages that we would like to get across to an audience that we love very much.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for giving me a nod because I feel like even for me doing this podcast journey, this is my second podcast actually. My first one I had it with a friend back in 2016. We did like 6 or 7 episodes on SoundCloud. It was a mess, but every
But you got to start somewhere.
but
That's
it was
right.
training
That's right.
wheels, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
That's
completely a
right.
mess, and we parted ways due to creative differences, right? But it was still a stepping stone for me, because she wanted a podcast that was more religious based or like like theology, like religion conversations. That's not like my strength at all. I'm not, you know what I mean? So I was like, baby girl, I want to sit up here and have fun, okay? And still, you know, but also still educate and still be
Right.
real, which is what I do. You know, I still speak to world issues. I still speak to social issues, black issues, LGBTQ stuff, relationship stuff. So, you know, I kind of give you all of it. That's why it's called the perfect blend. You know what I mean? So,
All right.
yeah, so it's definitely been tough, and there have been times where I intentionally walked away from my podcast for a little bit because I was like, "Honey, if I ain't got it, I ain't got it." You know what I mean? So let me tap into self and self regulate and come back when I'm ready. You get what I'm saying? So I've
Oh
also
yeah.
practiced that a few times as well, willingly and unwillingly sometimes, full transparency. So I can relate.
That's
Good
Perfect.
called
stuff.
that's called self care too. Doing what you know is yours to do, and not doing what's not yours to
Hmm.
do.
Right.
Thank you so much. So, next question. What inspired you all to create the Blackfullness app? Because I did download the app and I thought it
Thank
was
you.
very helpful. I did download the app. I created an account. Yes, I have it on my phone.
Beautiful.
No,
Yes, I love that.
I have it on my phone right here. Blackfullness. Okay. Wait.
Yay! Let's
Yeah.
go!
That's
Share
right.
the
Good
app right
job.
here. Oh, hold on. It's deleted. But yes, I have the app and stuff like that. I did create an account. I
Yes.
did create an account. So yeah. What inspired you all to start the Blackfullness app? And I know you kind of touched on it earlier with the mindfulness podcast.
Right, right, right. So um, the app itself actually was created by out of a grant from the National Institutes for Health and in conjunction with Dr. Natalie Watson Singleton, who is an associate professor of psychology at
Right.
Spelman. And so they
Okay.
came together, yes, yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
and created this app and took it through randomized controlled trials
Top for you.
with this company, an educational media company called Trifoya.
Hmm.
And then they were looking for somebody to bring it to the world. And so
Right.
David and I came together uh, to to bring it to the world. Mindfulness is something that both of us have used to really transform our lives in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
And we saw sort of the potential for what this could be in terms of representation, in terms of making sure that we
Right.
brought kind of a culturally relevant lens to it,
Right.
that we made it for us, right? So, because so often they're doing all this amazing work around mindfulness and about how it changes your life and how it reduces stress, but ain't nobody talking to Black people. And so
Right.
we're like, what? Like we need it the most. What y'all doing? Like, and so
Hmm.
bring it into our communities in a way that we can see ourselves and we can actually get the maximum benefit.
And there is 100%. Oh, sorry.
Oh, and I
Go
just want
for
to
it.
say what I like about your app is the marketing, and I know we chatted and you all said you wanted to like revamp and stuff, but I like the marketing of it. I like how there's like exercises and like mantras and all types of things in the app, but even the language in the app is very specific. It's very clear cut. You know, so when I was like navigating the app, I was like, oh, this is really cute. Like, it's very straightforward. It's very simple. It's not an overly complicated app, but it has a lot of a lot of resources and a lot of meats in the app as well. So it's not just like some run of the mill app. It's a very intentional app.
We're gonna have to
Sure
use that.
enough, thank
We're
you.
gonna have to use that sound bite
Right.
because that's real. What you just blessed us with and gave us in terms of your feedback.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing though, Khalif, is that 100%. Um, we are interested in the lifestyle choices of our people in terms of stress reduction and kind of how what that looks like.
Hmm.
The larger piece also is a point that Sonia mentioned. There's a huge social justice component to what we're doing around
Hmm.
accessibility and
Hmm.
equity,
Right.
ensuring that our people have access to the benefits of mindfulness in a way that we can see ourselves in the experience. Because
Hmm.
the research that we did, or that was done on the app, shows that when Black folks see themselves in an experience, we are more likely to engage
Hmm.
when we see
Hmm.
ourselves.
Exactly.
And years of oppression have created so much stress
Hmm.
that flows in our DNA, and in
Hmm.
our consciousness. And if we know that there is a way to liberate and free our people from the impacts of stress on our minds, our bodies, our spirits, and our souls, Sonia and I are saying yes to that because we love our people at the core. Bottom line, not and all people are our people, and we know that Black people living in the United States who have had the transatlantic experience
Right.
we have a very different type of love there because we want to make sure that we are creating a container
That's
for
right.
beautiful, magical, healing things to happen. Because I know that black people are dope as shit, and we
Mm-hmm.
are operating at 25% of our potential. If
Mm-hmm.
we could create a space for black folk to land in 100% of our potential,
Right.
you know, what? Imagine
Right.
black futurism. Imagine what that could be like.
Sure
And
enough.
Mm-hmm.
so we're looking at black futurism. How can we arm and equip our people with tools and techniques that are easy, to your point, accessible, that are fun, that they see
Mm-hmm.
themselves in, to just to be the badasses that we were put on this planet to be. Period.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all killing these questions. This is wonderful of you.
We
Y'all
love what
killing.
we do. Legit. For real.
So,
We like to hear
so
ourselves
what?
talk too.
Right, right. So what areas of your life, such as work, love, dating, friendships, family, and so forth, has mindfulness been most impactful for you? And let's start with David this time. Is that okay? Let's start with David
I'm
this
gonna be
time.
real. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be real quick because I know I just talked a lot last time. The simple answer is all of them.
Mm,
ALLUHEM. All of them. Because every last one of them
all of
are
them.
all of them.
All
Okay? Because all of them are connected. And
Right.
so when I land in mindfulness, it's almost like a trickle down effect. Every when I am clear and when I am present,
Hmm.
everything else falls into place. How I engage with people in relationship, how I show up around creative intelligence in my professional life, how I look at my health and my physical body, how I look at
Mm,
my, how I it gauges everything. So it touches every part of my life.
sure enough.
perfect. Thank you. Sonia, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say all of them too.
Was you gonna spell it the same way?
That
Yeah.
ALL apostrophe
You
um
win.
UM probably all of them. But really, I would say probably the most impactful really is parenthood. Quite frankly, like
Mm,
I feel very clear because I have a powerful child and
mm.
needing to the best qualities of a human being are the hardest ones to parent.
Wow.
So
Ooh.
when you got somebody who is confident and who
Mm,
is sure of herself and who
mm.
knows her voice matters and don't care nothing about
Dot dot dot.
she don't care nothing
She said,
about
I don't give a fuck.
can't tell her
She said, I don't give a
nothing.
fuck about you.
Yes, all of that, like that helps me
Yes.
be really, really very sort of grounded, and
Mm,
able to really allow her to be her powerful self,
hmm.
and also make sure that she's teachable, right? So that she can, um,
Learn.
because I am still her mama, she can't just be talking to me in a kind of crazy way. But
Oh.
sometimes there's a lot.
You said know your place. You like we cool,
Right,
but
exactly.
I
Like
ain't
there
your
are
friend.
still boundaries. Let's not get that
Right.
twisted.
Never forget.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
there is something in me that allows space for her to still be able to express herself,
Right.
and sort of nurture her instead of trying to domesticate her, nurture her in
Mm.
a way that allows her to express herself in a way that is respectful, and to do that creatively.
And also she feels safe with you as well to express
Yes,
herself to you as her mother.
yes, absolutely.
Thank you for
Teresa.
sharing that. No, because just a side note, I do have moms who listen to my podcast, and there are times because I ain't got no kids. I just have a kitten, so that's my child.
Furry baby.
Yes, I have a furry baby. I have to put her in her carrier because she be doing too much sometimes. But but I do have moms who listen to my show, and sometimes I feel like I can't like well, I don't have kids, so I can't relate. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's like a hole that I can't relate to. I'm not a parent. You know what I mean? So thank you for sharing that gem because a few of my listeners will really appreciate what you just said.
Good.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. All right. So our next question, I don't know we're running close on time. We got like 20 more minutes or so. How are you vigilant about your peace? And we can start with Sonya.
Whew.
I have a really strong no. Like I'm not. Uh, no. And no is a complete sentence, and there's a
Yeah.
period after it. Like there's just so there's not a lot of so it feels a little easier for me to be like that's I'm not doing that, um because I don't want to and I don't have to, and this is what I'm doing instead. I think is a big way. Boundaries. I mean, it's really about boundaries. Like I protect my peace with having clear boundaries, um, and in that carving out time for myself, like every day. Like I'm an early riser so that I can have my quiet, don't talk
Peace.
to me, don't bother me time. That is just for me and God and who else I ever want to be with. Yeah.
I love that you said that. Sonia, for you being a black woman and being a mother and those intersecting identities as well, how long were you always a woman who was able to say no? Or did it take you some lived experiences of kind of feeling like
Yeah.
you had pressures to say yes all the time? You get me? Like, how long did it take you to get to
Right.
that place of like, it's an absolute no, I don't give a fuck what you say because this is my
Right.
peace? Like, how?
Yeah, motherhood brought that. Motherhood brought that for real because I was a
Mm,
hot mess. Like I was
mhm.
in all the. We're not even gonna talk about that because actually, I know we laughed about it earlier, but I am actually a minister, Khalif.
Oh, oh, we
So
can't cuss. I'm sorry.
you can totally cuss. It's okay. It's
I be with
so.
her every
Cause
day.
won't you
I'm
hush?
sorry, and I cuss. I also say I cuss.
I like. I love God, but I cuss a little. Um.
We all do. Come on. I love God
So
It's fine.
too.
right, exactly. But but I would say that my daughter and ministry brought a whole thing to me, and
Mhm.
not ministry as sort of a construct, but the work it took to get to my minister's license is the work of sort of excavating all those loosey goosey boundaries, all those
Mhm.
ways I didn't show up for myself, all those ways I put myself in harm's way, all those
Mhm.
ways I said yes when I should have said no. All of those things when I had my daughter became really clear. Like
Mhm.
they became hell no's.
Oh,
Like really,
Right.
really clear. And I because I need to be able to model a certain behavior. And I'm sure not gonna model giving away my power.
no.
I'm not modeling yes when I mean no. I'm so there was a lot in that for me. So I would say motherhood is what really got me together, for sure.
Wonderful. When you last question for you, when you started saying no to people in your personal life, how did that change? Like people who kind of
Um,
expect you to say yes all the time in your personal life, like other people, like
oh, they just fell away. I mean, at the end of the day, if they were only there because of my
like they just
yes,
left,
they
girl.
were gone. Like, all
hmm
right, like, and I don't. It was like bye. Like I don't.
hmm
I yeah. So I think that what was really key is that the people who stayed are the people who already had good boundaries with me. You know what I mean? They weren't, but it was the people who needed to fall away, the
Right.
people who I didn't really need in my life, who were contributing to my hot ass messness. Those
mm
people all fell away. Yeah, with the good strong no, right?
Thank you for
Because then
sharing
I
that.
was about building the life I wanted. Yeah,
Right. And prioritizing yourself to get the life that you wanted and needed.
exactly. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
exactly.
David, what are your thoughts? How are you vigilant about your peace?
Man, so everything, everything that Sonia said, everything. Peace is in this moment my most important value.
hmm
Because for me, peace is equivalent to experiencing bliss in heaven on earth. When my peace is maintained, I'm flowing. And so
hmm
the way that I do that, in addition to all the ways that Sonia mentioned, and it's interesting because when I attended Sonia's graduation from ministerial school, one of the commencement speakers put it in a way that just made so much sense to me and really simplified it. She was this person was giving advice to the ministers, and they said, in relation to the congregation and being in the role of minister, be aware but unattached.
Hmm.
It's something about being unattached, being present to what's happening, what's going on, but
hmm
not allowing myself to be attached to it in any way. It really helps me be vigilant around maintaining my peace. Whether that is attachment to what death is, attachment to status, attachment
hmm
to my own ego, attachment to
hmm
anything, because that helps me be one of my most favorite words, unbothered,
So you're
just
saying
unbothered.
so far, David. Sorry to interrupt you. You- You're saying that practicing detachment has contributed to your vigilance of peace in your life, like learning how to figure out, okay, like I can't be attached to this. I gotta like loosen up on this. Am I understanding correctly?
100%. Because what it helps me do is not assign value to a thing. At a
Right.
certain point, it becomes information. I'm aware, and I see these things. It's information that helps me decide how I'm gonna be. Right? It helps me
Mm,
with my decision making to be able to not assign value, to say, okay, here's this thing that I'm conscious of, that I can see, that I can feel, that I can use all my senses around. And
mm,
once I've gathered that information, I can choose how I want to be and how I want to. If I want to experience peace, I
mm,
have to be peace. And if I'm gonna be peace, that doesn't mean I just show up and just snap my fingers and say, "Ooh, peace." No, what it means is I make behavior choices and decisions that
mm,
usher more peace into my experience, right? And so
mm.
being unattached helps me just show up in an energetic of I'm choosing. I'm not forced
Right.
to be here. I don't feel obliged to be here. I don't
Right.
da 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 da. I am showing up because I want to, and every that no and yes, the boundary.
Right.
I'm unattached, and I can show up in energy of, hey, I want to be here, and so everybody wins. But if I'm coming in attached to some shit, and I don't want to do it. I want to be, just my piece is I see it, I recognize it, I don't assign no value to it over here, and just
Mm.
make sure that I can be with what that is in that space. So yeah, being unattached for real
Thank
helps your
you.
relationship.
Right.
Like, not that
Thank you.
I'm callous and don't care. That's
Right.
different. It is I see it, and if it's something that I care about, I can send some prayer over it and keep it moving. I don't
Right.
have to be involved in whatever is happening or going on. That helps me stay in my
Mm.
peace. My grandma used to say, if I spent half the year minding my own business and the second half of the year staying out of other people's business, then life could be beautiful. And that's the model that I live by.
I love that. As I hear both of y'all responses to that question, it makes me think about how I maintain peace, and I'm honestly still practicing that right now. And what I've been practicing lately is not feeling guilty for
Mm,
not having the capacity and for saying no and for having boundaries. Because what I realized is that sometimes people are so used to me being available, right? And I have to get to the point with myself of like, okay, I'm always available. But maybe it comes from a place of me not having family, right? So my friends are always so used to me being ready for the phone. Like, oh, you got a vent, girl, I'm here for you 24/7. And I had to get to the place where I was like, but that's not healthy. And not only that, I've had friends who are probably no longer my friends now, by the way, but or no longer my friends now in real life, by the way. But I had to learn and I had to kind of study how whenever they were at capacity, they would say no, and they wouldn't feel bad about it, right?
Right.
So now what I do in all of my relationships now is I'm like, no, I'm not gonna feel bad if I don't fucking feel. I don't feel like a girl. I don't have time. I'm tired. The bitch
yeah,
tired. Okay, so it's like I
yeah,
don't
that's real.
have
Yeah,
time. Right. Or
no,
or if I can't be there, I just can't be there right now. You have to
Right.
have the tools to self-regulate. You get what I'm saying? Because what I've learned is that there are times in life where you're gonna be alone. You know what I'm saying? There are gonna
yeah,
be times where you're kind of going through something, and it's like I'm gonna be by myself. No one's gonna pick up the phone. I gotta handle this on my own. I gotta face myself. You know what I mean? So after
Right.
me going through that a few times, it allowed me to get into this lane of like, don't feel guilty. Like when we all go home, we all gotta self-regulate and get ourselves together. So
Yep.
if
Come
I
on.
don't have capacity or if I can't be at this event, Miss Starks just can't be there. You know?
That's right. You better come on. You better teach the people
come on,
today, Khalif.
you
Come on.
dropping the word.
Right.
Shoot, that ain't nothing but a word. Come on.
So our
Where you
next
at, Bless
question,
Place?
our next question
Right.
is, how has music impacted your life? Let's
Hmm.
make this one super brief as we're running short on time, and I do want to play the game with y'all. So,
So music is all over everything. Like we
Period.
are all about music is a mindfulness practice.
Yep.
Like especially for Black folks, we have used music through the ages.
yeah.
For communication, for
Mhm.
celebration. Yeah, music is business.
Empowerment playlist that
Empowerment
encourage our
playlist.
minds and our spirits. Movement. I think music is like that's my primary language.
That's right.
Mm.
Movement and music. Those are my primary languages.
And one of our friends has a shirt that says "Music is my love language," and I'm like,
Oh,
yes,
do they sell the
yes.
shirts online? I'm gonna go buy one. I was like, shirts
I
online.
will find out and let you
We
know.
got you.
Yes,
Right, send me the
I will
link.
let you know.
Email me. Email me. I'm gonna send me the
Yes,
link.
yes.
Perfect. For me, music is healing. I feel
Yes.
like music is a form of therapy, to be honest with you. Because with
Yes,
music,
a hundred
you can
percent.
find any song or any genre that contributes to a certain mood or like aspect of life in all areas. It's sort
Absolutely.
of like the music is like the unspoken language as well, I think. Because it's
Beautiful.
there, but I feel like sometimes we don't realize how impactful music is. It's very
Right.
impactful,
Exactly.
very
Exactly. I
powerful.
feel that.
Awesome. Last question. What are some last words or takeaways for the listeners? And also, what's a go-to mantra of yours that keeps you going? So that's two questions in one. Sorry.
That's
So
okay.
first,
A takeaway: be diligent about your piece. Be
mm,
diligent about put yourself first,
hmm
and because once you are living your best life, you have the best opportunity to support other people. And
hmm
we do that, or I do that, by really crafting a mindfulness practice that supports me in doing that. Right.
wonderful.
And I would say on the tail end of that, that all of us, all of us, are worthy.
Hmm
Hmm.
We are worthy and deserving of living our highest and best lives, and really landing and standing in our magnificent potential, regardless of socioeconomic standing, regardless
Right.
of what we know, what we don't know. Inherently, we are worthy of goodness.
That's right.
Period.
Beautiful. So, what's your go-to mantra that keeps you going? Or like,
Oh, I
what's a
have so
go-to
many.
mantra?
Affirmations are our jam,
Yeah.
Khalif. Like there's just like the list. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my god, there's like
25
25 of
million.
them just popped up
What's
into
your
my head
top
in that
three
moment.
for both of y'all? What's y'all
Um,
top three? Top three mantras.
um, my every act produces abundance.
Mm.
Um, not today, Satan.
Oh.
Just because not whatever the Satan is, whatever it is, you know what I mean. Whatever obstacle is what Satan is for me.
hmm
And the Lord is my shepherd; I shall not trip.
Mm.
I love that. That is beautiful. What about you, David?
One of them would be the flower that is disconnected from its root dies, and
Okay.
what that helps me remember to stay connected to my community, to my family, to my ancestry. Another
Okay.
one is um, I'm really, for some reason, ancestral stuff is coming up. I am dancing on the feet of my ancestors, knowing that I'm standing on a lot of shoulders. There are people who came before me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get to have excuses about fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one would be love is patient and love is kind. Love is
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Thank you. My top three are to thine own self be true. That's my
Mm.
first one.
Amen.
My
Amen.
second one is from the Bible, have the faith of a mustard seed. That's in one of the verses. I forgot. I'm sorry, y'all. But
A
having the
mustard
faith of
seed.
a
That's
mustard
all. That's all you
It
need.
means something.
A mustard
right.
seed.
Having the
Yep.
faith of the mustard seed is like such a pivotal mantra for me. Like, although it's a
Yep.
verse, you get what I'm saying? Because you just need like that little ounce of faith sometimes
Sure enough.
to get you through. So
Yes.
that helps me.
Yes.
And then also my last one is kind of slipping my mind. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on. It was there. Faith of a mustard seed. And what else? I forgot, y'all.
It's
Damn.
Hmm.
okay.
I'll be saying that train of thought left without me.
Okay.
Right. I'm trying to think. Oh my God. I totally. Maybe, okay. I'll give a word resilience.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, wait. Now it
Absolutely.
came back. Good morning, gorgeous from Mary J. Blige. Okay.
That's right.
Hey,
That's
energy
a
coming
mantra.
through.
That's right. Good morning,
That's
gorgeous. Let's
good
go.
morning, gorgeous. Like I be having to really tell myself that sometimes. And I think it's something that when her album came out, like that was such a good era for her. I don't know, and I feel like a lot of people slept on that era for Mary. But I'm like, that
Mhm.
era was
Mhm.
very, it was a very healing album. So shout out
Yes.
to you, Mary J. Blige. All right, now we're
Amen.
gonna get into the this or that game as we wrap up the show.
Okay.
And how are y'all feeling so far? How did y'all
This is
feel?
This has been good. This has
good,
been good,
man.
Khalif.
Yeah.
I love talking to you.
Can we do it again?
Right.
I want
Has
to do
it
it
been
again.
fun? Have I been doing a good job?
Yeah, you've been
Yes.
doing an amazing job.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. We're gonna have to have you on Mindfulness for the Culture
That's
so you
right. We
can bring
got to.
that.
Got to.
Exactly.
Call me. Look, I'm
We're
always
gonna
look.
have some
You,
questions for
I can't
you.
find you my cell phone number. Y'all call me. Let's do it.
Say
Okay.
less. Say less.
That's right.
Thank
That's right.
you. No, and once again, before we get into the game, thank y'all for being here and giving me your time and space today.
Thank you.
So,
Absolutely.
this or that game, okay? So, once again, this or that is basically you just choose whichever one you like to show more about your personality. Kind of tell me why you chose it. Okay, cool. All right. So
Yes.
first, um, Air Forces or Jordans?
Mm. Air Forces for me. I'm not about to spend all that money on those. I've never paid the money for Jordans. I'm not doing it. Air Force Ones, it just feel real. There was a whole era with Air Force Ones.
Mm.
I'm gonna say neither. Can I do that? Can I say neither?
Yeah,
Cause
I'm
you
going
bougie.
with neither because I'm
you like I don't wear that type of stuff. We class.
no neither.
And I lived in St. Louis for a while, so when I think about Air Force Ones, I think about
I think
um,
about fighting when I think about Air Force Ones.
good traction,
Hilarious.
good traction, good traction.
Hilarious.
Well, dude,
People be
man.
fighting in them shoes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Air Force Ones.
Okay.
I can't think of the rap right now.
What shoe would you choose, Sonia?
Um, girl, I'm a hippie at heart, so
Okay.
I need
Birkenstocks.
Birkenstock.
And the rapper is Nelly. Nelly.
Oh, you're
with my Air
doing
Force
Nelly.
Ones.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh
Wow.
wow. Okay, perfect. Isley Brothers or New Edition?
Oh.
Isley Brothers
So
or New Edition?
New Edition was my first ever concert. My first. Ooh, I'm dating myself, but New Edition was my first concert. I was 12. Um.
Girl, you look so young. Oh my god, look at
Oh, I know I'm fly.
you.
But in terms of like being grown, Isley Brothers.
Bruh, I'm like an 85-year-old man stuck inside
He
a 40-year-old
is.
man's body. So I'm gonna say Osley Brothers without not even having to think about it, because that's classic, that's
Class.
traditional, and it's timeless. Like this
Yeah.
stuff is timeless. And I just so happen to have two parents who played the Osley Brothers all the time.
And they are such a staple of black music.
Oh,
It's
100%.
soul.
For sure.
Like Isley Brothers, like soul has been around, but they are just a staple in soul music, like our music for
Yeah.
African Americans. Yeah.
Sure.
And you know what I'm saying, I appreciated how the Isley Brothers were pushing the limits and going to the edge on their attire, the clothes that they would wear.
Back
Like
then.
they really were landing in like metrosexual before
Uh-huh.
metrosexual was a real thing. Like
Uh-huh.
androgyny, they were there. Like clothes were clothes, and I appreciate that about them as well.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. Therapy in person or virtual therapy?
Oh, in
In
person.
person,
In
period.
person all day. I mean,
Really?
in a pinch, some virtual, but no, there's so much energy in person, right? I love
Mm.
therapy, but so there's
Me too.
good, that energy in
Hmm.
person is important.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
I agree with y'all. In person, I'm gonna choose that one too. Okay. Angela Bassett or Viola Davis?
Oh,
What kind
why
of
would you do that?
question is that?
Yo, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say it the second time. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with Angela Bassett, and I'm gonna say Angela Bassett one because one of my favorite movies. You
I
know,
shook the table with that one. Y'all was gagged.
man, listen,
How
was
dare you?
was just in the spirit of honoring the late Tina Turner and the way that Angela Bassett really leaned into what's love gonna do with it in like
Mhm.
the most epic way. I'm gonna say
Mhm.
Angela Bassett, but it literally, like that's a horrible question for you to really put people through,
I
for
know it
real.
seems disrespectful for me.
It's hella disrespectful.
And I think I'm
Both
gonna say
beautiful
Viola just
queens.
because
Both beautiful queens.
both
Yeah.
beautiful queens. I'm gonna say Viola just because he said Angela, because
Okay.
who can choose?
Right.
Um, Viola Davis. My
Mm.
my favorite part of Viola right now, besides the fact that she just did you
Fine
see
ass.
that white outfit with the feathers and the umbrella?
For the
Wait, that
photo shoot,
can? Maybe she with that can? Yes. Oh my gosh.
She look,
Um,
she fine as shit, bro.
but
she looks regal.
Sorry,
she
Regal.
yes, she's been leaning into that. Stop comparing me to all of these famous white actresses and pay me like them. Like stop comparing me to them and exactly give me the opportunities that they have and pay me like you pay them.
Run me my
And
bag.
then compare me. Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
I love her.
She said, "Run the bag."
Run it.
Run me
And the
that
Run
way
it.
coin.
and the way she went off in Woman King though,
And yeah, Woman King
oh,
was dope.
she went
Yeah,
off.
And that was dope.
Okay, I'm
she's
leaving that
so
alone.
regal.
Okay.
I'm gonna choose Angela. I love Viola. I love me some Viola.
Yes.
I'm gonna choose Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett just has both of them are outstanding, but Angela is just oh my god.
Hold
Angela Bassett is just like both of them have it. Both of them have that in them. It's like a certain level of like regalness. They're like
Yeah.
queens to me. Like their energy
Yes.
is just like so boss, like so like accomplished, so comfortable. They're very comfortable and very
Yes.
sensual.
And who they are.
Um,
Yes.
Very stern and assertive woman, but still woman and still feminine, which
Ooh, I
is what
like
I
that.
like.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
like
like
that.
they're just
Yeah.
still very they're dope.
I'm gonna do a shout out to Kiki Palmer real quick for her impersonations of Angela Bassett. Just real quick, just throw that out there because she wear me out every time. Every time she do the quiver lip, I don't know what I can't take
Keke
it.
Palmer is I love her. Okay,
Hilarious.
perfect. Scandal or How to Get Away with Murder, and then after this we have two more. And we'll be done. But Scandal or How to Get
I
Away
was
with
a
Murder.
Scandal girl. I was thinking about Scandal the other day. I'm neither for David.
I didn't watch neither one of them.
He didn't watch either of them, but I was a Scandal girl myself. I also watched How to Get Away with Murder, but I felt scared. There was something about about Olivia Pope. My dog is named Olivia Pope, by the way. Um, that just was something that was I don't yeah.
Mm.
I need.
There's just something about Scandal that was all the things for me.
I could do better in supporting our black actresses, but this was some stuff that's not
Not
what
a
I was
TV
watching.
person. Perfect.
Not that kind of TV.
Next one, Queen Latifah or Missy Elliott?
Oh, not the one.
Steve, what is happening?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna pick Queen Latifah
Oh,
because
you know what happened there first?
I'm gonna pick Queen Latifah because I've decided one day I'm gonna get famous and she's gonna play me in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah.
Because that's another rude question. Cully,
it is rude.
I gotta shake it up. We gotta make it fun. We gotta make it
You
fun.
are God late. So I'm gonna choose Missy Elliott because it's for the same reason. Just because you chose the Queen, I'm going to
Mhm.
choose Missy. I really appreciate. I think Missy Elliott is the personification of creative intelligence. Her brilliance
Mhm.
is freaking everything. Her
She's a
voice is
genius.
amazing.
She's a genius.
She's a genius,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
She's a genius that shows up in the package of genius that we don't always see. And I love that she's getting so much visibility.
Mhm.
Her adaptability, how she pivots, how she
Mhm.
transforms herself
Mhm.
so frequently.
Yeah.
Like Missy Elliott, I'm with. I see you, boo. I'm gonna go ahead
Mhm.
and say, I can't stand the rain. Come on, Missy.
Shout out to Tina. It's
Damn,
my
super
window.
fly.
It's my window. Shout out to
Oh,
Tina.
come on
Okay.
now, super duper fly.
I'm gonna choose Queen Latifah. I love Missy, so I'm a huge Missy fan. But I really like Queen Latifah because to me, Queen Latifah, like the way she extended her career, the rapping,
Yeah.
the acting, the like jazz music, Broadway,
Yes.
like Queen
Yes.
Latifah, like really like her and Ice Cube to me are like they're
The
very
LL.
step on with what they've done for like hip hop to me and
Yes.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
in mainstream pop culture as well.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
and then
And you gotta put LL
and
and
you
Will.
got to
You
put
And
gotta.
LL.
LL. And LL Cool
Yeah,
J, yeah.
and Will Smith.
Yeah.
And Will
Uh,
Smith.
when
Hmm.
when uh when when Queen Latifah did Ursula Broadway
Hmm.
for the Little Mermaid thing, I was like, yo,
Hmm.
do your goddamn thing, because she was on it. Like,
Hmm.
if you haven't watched that clip of her being Ursula, check it out, because she
I
wore
gotta
it
check
out.
that out.
Oh, look at it.
She wore that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She wore that.
Last one, I promise.
Okay.
Gratitude journaling or deep breathing exercises. This is our last one.
Damn,
Cully.
Khalif.
So I'm
This is a
picking
good
both.
show, right? Y'all wanted a good show. This is a good show. This is a
I'm
good
not messing with
show.
you. I'm not messing with you. I'm picking both. I'm picking both. You do your deep breathing exercise right
Why
before
you
you do
gotta?
your gratitude
You
journal.
can't pick both, you gotta pick one.
You gotta follow the rules,
Uh,
girl. I'm gonna give you some time to think. I'm gonna go ahead and choose mine. I'm gonna say breathing,
Hmm.
because deep breathing can be done anytime, anywhere, by anyone. It is so
Hmm.
accessible, and the way it impacts the body physiologically instantaneously is
Hmm.
probably one of the most powerful forms of mindfulness, because it's something that we can all do, regardless of how much money we got, what we're doing. I'm gonna say breathing.
Brandon. Rude.
Sonia, which one you got? You got to choose one.
I'm gonna go with gratitude journal. I'm gonna go with gratitude journal just to be different from David mostly, but because gratitude and gratitude journaling absolutely changed my life. Like I can't even like undisputed change my life in the way I saw my life. My daughter and I have a nightly gratitude practice before we go to bed to name something that we were grateful for from the day. Like the gratitude, the deeply grounding ourselves in gratitude so that it can expand, so we can get more of that goodness. I'm about that.
The divine
Perfect.
multiplier.
The divine multiplier.
Perfect. Well, this is the end of episode 71 of the Perfect Blend podcast. I want to say thank you to you, Sonia, and you, David. Thank you for sharing space with me this afternoon. I know we're all super, super busy, so it's such an honor to have you here. Thank y'all for staying in contact with me and like wanting to be here. Like it's genuinely an honor because in the podcast game, it'd be a little tough sometimes with collaboration. So I've been burned a few times in this, so yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing space and being here. I'm sorry, what you say?
Yes.
And we're going to see you on ours very, very soon.
Call me. Look, I'm going to be waiting for that call, okay?
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Clee, for having us, for being patient with us, and for bringing this. Your podcast is beautiful, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
And thank you again, Pam G, for being connective tissue.
Yes.
For your Yes Queen Award, boo.
Yes. And also, too, we're going to give the Yes Queen Award to Roxy, because Roxy connected me to Pam. They're friends. So I have a friend named Roxy. So Roxy, shout out to you today, because Roxy was like, hey, I have some people who I think would be good on your show. Yes, so Roxy made that connection to me and Pam.
Hey, Roxy.
Thank you, Roxy.
Yes, shout out to my Roxy.
Yes. You better be demonstrating the power of community.
Yeah. No, Roxy literally DM'd me and like randomly. She was like, I have some people I think would be good for your show. And it was so random. It was so random.
I love it.
Yes. So thank y'all for coming on. And I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. And wait, before we go, make sure you all subscribe to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Radio Republic. I'm available on 9 platforms. Also follow me on YouTube at Khalif Now, at Instagram at Khalif Now, and Twitter at the same handle. That's Khalif Now. That's KALEEFNOW. And also Sonia and Russell. I'm sorry, damn it. Sonia and David. I keep wanting to say. I'm a mess. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Sonia and David, can you share your social media channels?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. On everywhere, we're Blackfullness. Make sure you spell it right. BLACKFULL, 2 L's.
Come through branding? Yes.
That's right. And on Instagram, we're the Blackfullness. Every place else you can just look up Blackfullness and you'll find us.
And Mindfulness for the Culture.
And our podcast is called Mindfulness for the Culture. And it can also be found on all the ways you podcast. Just like Khalif.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher,
Spotify,
Radio Republic, Podbean. Perfect. Also, too, you guys go download the Blackfullness app in the iTunes store and the Google Podcast store. We have to support each other.
That's right.
We have a goal of 250,000 people by the end of 2024.
Get that.
Absolutely. Get that.
And we're out.
Thank you so much.
Y'all stay on as I press stop, okay?